Dude, that Tetris tower is totally tricked out. Hola, I am Ulysse. I am looking at games from a design perspective, trying to pick out what things I think work well and what could be better. What we've got here is Tricky Towers, a Tetris tower building game. In this video, I'm going to focus on the competitive multiplayer. I've been playing Tetris since I was a kid, and it was only after a couple hours playing Tricky Towers that it really hit me. This isn't Tetris. You're not clearing lines. In the race mode, you're competing to get to the top first. In the special mode, getting rid of all your pieces without dropping any. And in the puzzle mode, trying to fit as many of them as possible below the line. And the pieces don't just stick to each other. The way you arrange your pieces determines the structural integrity of your tower. So your first instinct for Tetris often leads to disaster. For example, the pieces that bend around corners often just fall off if not secured from below. The long line pieces, when placed vertically without another piece keeping them solidly pushed down, easily fall over. Holes left unfilled in the middle of your tower don't necessarily have a negative impact on the game, like they would in Tetris. What really matters is having a strong foundation. It matters to the point where, in the race mode, you may want to just throw away a piece to avoid disturbing the harmony in your tower. And in the special mode, where dropping 3 pieces means losing the match, a small mistake early on makes future placement very risky. All the while, you're trying to put down all your pieces before your opponent. Also, the pieces operate on more than just a grid. Placement is twice as granular as Tetris, so when your tower gets super fucked up, no problem. Just move the pieces into the half-block margins. Well, only if the pieces line up just right. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. I said the foundation is important, but really, I don't know. The laws of physics here are such that sometimes you can balance your whole tower on the jagged corners of your wrecked foundation. This really isn't your grandma's Tetris. With all this difficulty in building, though, there is a fair bit of balancing in the game, so even mid-game, it's not clear who will win. Oftentimes, part of your shoddily built tower will collapse, and you'll think it's game over. But then 2 minutes later, you glance over at your opponent's tower doing the exact same thing, and sigh in relief. Hehehe, sucker. There's something beautiful about recovering from disaster, and then going on to succeed. The magic spells you can cast against each other add a lot of equalizing force as well. Some help you bind your pieces together more tightly, or even create a permanent platform in the sky, while others let your opponent destabilize your tower. In the puzzle mode, the pieces you get are the same as your opponent's, and they're in the same fixed order, completely deterministic. The other modes of the game reward you for going quickly and being the first to build up your tower, so I, by default, applied the same strategy here to the puzzle mode, not realizing that I was effectively letting my opponent copy all my good moves and avoid my folly. And I'm done. This game has solid local multiplayer. When you play it, note how it feels, as you constantly have to remind yourself that you're not playing Tetris, as your tower crashes and burns.